Let us see how to undo and redo operations. Assume that we issued these commands, draw a line and then draw a polygon. So what happens is the controller creates a line object and then puts it in the model. Then it creates a polygon object, adds it to the model. And as these objects are added and updated, the view reads those objects and displays them on the device. So that is what happens. Whatever is in the model, we read and display. And the view is responsible for that operation. Now let us see, we want to undo the last operation. So we want to undo the drawing of the polygon. We can easily see that if the polygon is removed from the model, the view will not display it anymore. So that is a very simple idea. And if you want to redo that, redo that operation, then all we need to do is put back that polygon object. So what we need to do then is actually store these commands in some data structure that will help you undo and redo. And what we do is use a stack. In fact, we maintain two stacks. One is called the history stack and the other one is the redo stack. When we begin the drawing program, these two stacks are empty. And let us say the first command is to draw a line. Then what we do is we store information related to the line here. So we put line info here. And that is the first object to be stored in the history stack. Then we get a command to draw a polygon and we push one more item here, that is information about the polygon. The third operation that we get is to undo, which means we need to remove this polygon from the model. And the process is to look at the top stack, information in the stack, in the history stack, and look at the polygon info. This info is used to remove this polygon. And what we do is we copy that in here. And this will remove it from the history stack and remove it from here. Then this will not get displayed here. Then if the user issues a redo, what we do is reverse these operations. We clear the redo stack, or rather pop the redo stack and copy that or push it onto the history stack. So we pop the redo stack and put this back, this polygon info in here. And at the same time, this info is used to put the polygon object back into the model, which makes the view display that polygon object again. So we have completed the redo. So how do you carry out this task of copying from the history stack to the redo stack, removing stuff from the model, adding things back to the model. How do you copy from the redo stack into the history stack and so on? For this purpose, we have a few classes. One is that we have a undo manager, which keeps track of these two stacks, the history stack and redo stack. And when an undo is needed, it manages the process of popping the history stack and pushing information onto the redo stack. And when a redo is initiated, it pops the redo stack and pushes that information into the history stack. So that is one class, an undo manager. The second thing is this polygon info or line info or info on any shape that can be undone is stored in a command class. So we have a new abstract class called a command. And for every shape, or rather for every command, we have a subclass of command. So for example, for polygon, there will be a polygon command. For line, there will be a line command, etc. And each one of these subclasses of command, like polygon command, would store the polygon object. We'll have operations to undo and redo the operation. So let us see the transparencies now. So for every command that we have in the system, we have a command object. So the command class is abstract. It has operations to undo a command, redo a command, and execute a command. So we have a history stack and a redo stack, and we have command objects for every one of the operations we do. So when we insert a line, we have a line object, then we might have a label and then a circle and a label and so on. And these are the objects stored in the model. And when we have a undo command, the line object would be removed and we will have the other objects still in the history stack. The line object is moved into the redo stack. Actually, it is the line command that we move here, and the model will have only the objects corresponding to stuff on the history stack. So the command class would look somewhat like this. We have actually added one more method called end, which is not abstract. We will see it in the actual implementation. The undo manager has the history stack and redo stack, and the stack holds objects of type command, both stacks. When we begin a command, what we do is, for simplicity, clear the redo stack. You can read the chapter in the book or the reading document available on D2L to see why it is convenient to clear the redo stack, so we avoid certain inconsistencies and push the command onto the history stack. When we end the command, we update the view so that the shape is properly updated on the screen. The undo command is to do the following. Check if the history stack is empty. If it is not empty, undo the command at the top and pop the history stack and push the command object onto the redo stack. And the command object, when told to undo, will remove the shape from the model. The redo operation in the undo manager would work as follows. If there is something in the redo stack, pop the redo stack and push it onto the undo stack and ask the popped command to redo itself, which will essentially execute the command again, basically putting the shape back into the model. So it gets displayed.